So what happened in the NBA today, there was 3 playoff games scheduled, all at 4, 6:30, and 9 p.m. And it was going to start with the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Orlando Magic. Now, obviously, Wisconsin is a state that has been rocked in the last 2 days with the reaction to the shooting of Jacob Blake by police. The Bucks didn't tell anybody ahead of time, including the Orlando Magic, who were on the court warming up for their game. The Bucks never left their locker room. They decided as a team that they were going to boycott the game. They never stepped out, and that started reverberations throughout the league. That led to the 2 other postponements for tonight. We don't know when those games will be rescheduled, and we don't know what that means for Thursday's games in the NBA either. As far as anyone knows, this is an unprecedented action, but that started with the Bucks. I mean, this entire season, this restart, this bubble, there have been so many unprecedented things. Black Lives Matter being painted on the court, players being allowed to wear social messaging on their back, urging change, things like Black Lives Matter and how many more, say her name, say their names. So many of those messages, most of the players in the league partook in the opportunity to exercise their right to put those messages on. But today, what happened in Lake Buena Vista today, what happened with 3 games being called off, we are now seeing just an enormous action, clearly the strongest action yet by NBA players as they demand change. So right now, the level of support in the NBA seems, almost unanimous, if not unanimous. The players are absolutely united. They had been meeting for a couple of days. Some of these meetings were started about 24 hours really before the Bucks decided to make the news of their boycott public. There's a meeting going on tonight where they could determine to end the season. Players are very clearly moved very passionately, very deeply by what has happened in Wisconsin, and not just that, but what happened in Minneapolis and what happened in Louisville beforehand. This has been weighing on them for some time, coupled with the strain of being in the bubble. There are so many factors at play, but for the Bucks to have taken this action, it very clearly I'm sure they knew that they had the support of players, not just in their own room, but around the league. Well, I think what we're seeing is that player power is definitely leading the day. Now, ultimately, the players made the decision to come to Lake Buena Vista. The players made the decision to come to the bubble. And look, as everybody knows, there were some very prominent players who spoke out that they should not. And some players did decide not to go. Kyrie Irving, who wouldn't have been able to play anyway because of injury, chose not to join the Brooklyn Nets, spoke out very openly, very passionately about why he didn't think it was a good idea, why he thought attention would be taken away from the message that they want to put forth in these communities, in this country, that change has to happen. I don't know if time will tell if they'll be successful or not. I mean, yes, it is a gesture, but it is an enormous gesture. I mean, you play all season for the playoffs. This is the time of year that players love the most. You're playing for an NBA championship. For them to make this statement, for them to say these causes, this belief, to right these wrongs, to demand change is more important than us playing basketball, even if it's just for one day. That is an enormous statement. Like we have been saying throughout this restart, it's unprecedented.